I feel like every girl has a guy who gives her attention that she necessarily doesn't want to be giving her attention. And then there's old boy over there who you're just like, if you can match his energy, we would be great.
This guy has been sending me Goodnight Queen every single night since May.
Anything a guy does for you, he's doing for other girls. And thank you to this man for proving me right. Look at this. Started in May.
So I have bad news for you ladies. The account that's sending you goodnight messages is not a real account. In early May, I built an Instagram bot that would send these messages to a group of popular creators to measure the impact of artificially boosting their egos. My plan was to start in May and send goodnight to single large popular creators and then stop the messaging around December 23rd, which is right in the midst of the holiday season and the most loneliest time for a single person. And I was going to demonstrate how much random people have influence over a popular creator whose entire self-worth is based upon the validation and appraisal of others.
If I don't get a Goodnight Queen, it hurts my feelings, and I love this.
And my hypothesis was correct. These women said they missed the goodnight messages. They were attached to it.
Great. This is going to get 1 million more stalkers to do this.
It has been so incredibly frustrating dating as a bop, and before everyone just jumps to the comments saying like, oh, well, what did you think? It would be easy? No, that's not why it's hard, okay? I have grown my bush to a unfathomable size, okay? I've never grown it this long, ever. Like, I could braid it down. Like, that's how long it's gotten. Anyways, I had to explain to this guy that I went on a date on, he just came back to the house and like, one thing led to another. Anyways, he was like really dumbfounded. He was like, oh, like, that's really long. And I was like, oh yeah, like I just made something up because obviously he doesn't know that I do that. And I was like, oh yeah, like a friend just dared me to like grow it for like a whole year. And he's like, oh, you have like really good relationship with your friend, huh? For you to like stay down to that dare. Anyways, I can't explain to him that a fan literally paid me to not shave my bush for a whole year. And I never really thought of like the consequences for after. So I'm facing them now.
This guy has been sending me Goodnight Queen every single night since May.
Anything a guy does for you, he's doing for other girls. And thank you to this man for proving me right. Look at this. Started in May.
So I have bad news for you ladies. The account that's sending you goodnight messages is not a real account. In early May, I built an Instagram bot that would send these messages to a group of popular creators to measure the impact of artificially boosting their egos. My plan was to start in May and send goodnight to single large popular creators and then stop the messaging around December 23rd, which is right in the midst of the holiday season and the most loneliest time for a single person. And I was going to demonstrate how much random people have influence over a popular creator whose entire self-worth is based upon the validation and appraisal of others.
If I don't get a Goodnight Queen, it hurts my feelings, and I love this.
And my hypothesis was correct. These women said they missed the goodnight messages. They were attached to it.
Great. This is going to get 1 million more stalkers to do this.
I don't know why there's such a huge difference for women. Don't mind me. For women, me, I don't know, the double standard. Forgive me. But there's a different feeling. There's a different, when a woman gets on this app and, makes a video about like what she wants in a man. It's like, yes, queen, standards, love it. Yeah, never settle. But when a man gets on this app and then starts talking about what he wants in a woman, it's more like, oh, I want a soft-spoken woman. Okay, what's wrong with the loud ones? I want my woman to. You want your woman to what? Like, I'm sorry. I know it's a double standard. Forgive me. Is it just me?
Modern feminism told me that if I got pregnant and had kids, then my life would be ruined. Yeah, modern feminism also told you that hookup culture, sexual liberation, and that hyperfeminism would make you happy. Yet here we are. Look at how that turned out. The irony of modern feminism is that everything that modern feminism stands for is exactly the opposite of women's roots. They say they care about women and children, but yet they only push. They say they care about women's health and peace of mind, but yet they only push hookup culture. They say women don't need a man to open up their doors, but yet women genuinely want men to open up their doors. They say women can't handle pregnancy because it's too hard, yet women were made to also handle hard things. What good things don't come from hard things? I don't know. The feminism thing, when you really look at everything that they have been pushing, it just starts to contradict everything that they should stand for. Like, nothing makes sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like they don't want us to be happy, you know?
One thing I've noticed, being a person who, like, I'm mostly attracted to shorter guys. But something about them, their egos are always super high. They always got, like, a lot of things going for them. And they're also, like, have incredibly great face cards. But something about a tall man, like, something about that.
Hot take that I've never heard anybody talk about on this app. How about a marriage body? Like, we know and love the revenge body, but how about the marriage body? How about we get hotter and hotter and hotter for the person who chose us forever? And vice versa. They get hotter for us. And then on the side, we're also investing money and we're just getting hotter and richer together. And I got it all at home. You got it all at home. I know it. You know it. The world knows it. And we're just like, it's just a cute little flex. Like, no, I want to be my man's dream girl till the day I die. And I don't care that it's on the inside what counts. Yeah, and vice versa. It is on the inside that counts, and like his work ethic and heart and blah, blah, blah. But also, oh no, my man's back is getting so big and muscly. Said no one ever. Like, why? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not sorry. You should want to be hot for your spouse, okay? Period. You should.
Here's the thing. Men need to sleep like they're guarding the Hope Diamond. Curled up on their own side of the bed, back to you, sometimes coffin style, but you can't take it personally, okay? It has nothing to do with you. It's not because he doesn't like you. This is just simply the way men must rest. And it might feel a little scary at times to breathe or make any sudden moves because it feels like it's gonna be against the law and you're gonna go to jail immediately because this is what he's trained for. But I promise you, if you just give him his 5 to 10 feet throughout the night, you will wake up next to a much happier and far more pleasant man.
Hot take, but the Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups have gotten wildly out of hand. I think in the beginning, these groups had good intention. Like, I've seen victims of horrific acts come forward with their name attached to it, not anonymously, and a mugshot picture. That makes sense to me. But it doesn't make sense to me when I see a vengeful ex-girlfriend post untrue things about really good guys and encouraging people to report them to their job. Like, at what point will you feel like you got your revenge? When a guy loses his job, his family, his kids, his girlfriend, can't get out of bed for a week and then takes his own life, then will you be happy?
I could not agree with this video more. I actually briefly went on Are You Dating the Same Guy, the Facebook page, because I was mostly just curious. Everybody else had said that they were on it, and I wanted to see what was actually going on there. And just like this woman said, I do think that it started out with good intentions. I do think that having a page that women can sort of ask about certain guys and other women, if they've experienced like danger and safety risk with that guy, can pre-warn them so that women can be safe. But from the time that I spent on that page, that's not a lot of what was going on there. I would see a lot of women asking like for like tea on certain guys. Sometimes other women would just comment and be like, oh yeah, we went on a couple dates and then he stopped texting me. And then you ask the woman like, oh, did you text him? And she's like, no, I didn't text him, but it doesn't matter. Like, he should have texted me. And it's like, okay, but you didn't text him either. So maybe he just assumed it was like a natural fade out. There were other posts where women would ask about a certain guy and then a lot of women would comment and be like, oh, I went on a couple dates with him. He was kind of weird. Or women would say, oh, we matched on the app. We talked for a bit and then he just stopped messaging me. And some of these I just felt like were more their personal opinions of the person and not anything that the actual guy did wrong. It's not a crime to not be compatible with somebody. And even in a situation where you might go on 1 or 2 dates with a guy and then he doesn't text you back or respond to you. Now, I understand if like sex happened or something, but even then, you don't really know this person. And so I understand maybe telling them that, but in a situation where you go on like a couple dates and maybe he just doesn't feel enough chemistry, and sure, should he text you back? Sure. But in a lot of these situations, like I said, the woman didn't even text him back. I don't like this whole idea that we're sort of like going on this page and villainizing men for either simply not being compatible with a woman or not texting her back, which is not courteous. And I get that. But as a bi woman who also dates women, a lot of women have done the same thing. You know, they don't respond. I get the argument could be used of, well, women don't respond to men because they're worried about their safety. And I completely agree. But even as a woman, I'm saying that when I've dated women, women wouldn't respond to me. I think this is just a common thing in modern dating where a lot of people are conflict avoidant and they don't like confrontation. They feel like if they've only had a couple dates with you, they don't necessarily want the awkwardness of telling you that they're not interested. And it's not right. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm just saying that I don't think it warrants going on a site and being like, this guy is a horrible person because he didn't respond to my text after we had one date together. I also think that some of these pages kind of ignore compatibility, because when we start getting into calling somebody weird or kind of nitpicking the dates that you've been on where it had nothing to actually do with them being like creepy or something like that, it's just more your personal preference, it almost becomes kind of like a popularity contest. And it's like somebody could be a really cool person, but they just happen to be more niche. And so maybe you went on a date with somebody and you didn't really vibe with them, but the person who was asking about that person might really vibe with him. Sometimes I just think it's not the best tool in that way, because you're asking these like anonymous strangers who happen to be women, but you don't actually know these women. So you don't even really know if you'd get along with these women to begin with. You don't know how valid their claims are, or if the person you're talking to is somebody that they really wanted to date and maybe that person wasn't interested in them. So now they're just saying whatever, or not necessarily saying whatever, but you're only getting their side of the date or their side of the situation. People's sides tend to naturally be biased towards their perspective. So that is my overall opinion. I think that if this page would have stuck to its original purpose, it could have been a really good group, but I do think it just has divulged into something that it was never supposed to be. I also think it's just a major breach of privacy. Genuine, well-meaning men should not have to worry about going on a date from a dating app and then having his face, you know, plastered on this site the next day. But all of this is just my personal opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Bye.
It's a rating system. It's a private rating system. Most of these modern women, this is what they want. I want a private place where I can do what I want to do and I get hyped up. Then I'm going to go out into the real world. Unfortunately, there's men out in the real world, and so they're going to hit me with a reality check. So I prefer to get my daily dose of, TV is good, but I'm not a part of the drama. I'm only watching it. I want to be in the drama. I'm not worried about safety. Well, I don't want to die, right? But I do want to know, is this a risk that I'm willing to take? Like the risk and the willingness to take that risk goes up the hotter the guy is. The more handsome he is, the 6 figures, 6-pack, the whole nine, whatever. What's the tea on this guy? I want to know that. Rate this guy. What's your experience with this guy? It's kind of like, I want to say Yelp, but Google. We're Googling these guys in our area. What's the best guy in the area? What are the reviews on him? Do I have what it takes to go to this restaurant, basically? If you pull up, oh, this is an expensive steakhouse, I don't have the money, but I do like looking at the pictures and seeing, oh, this is some good food. I'm going to save up money one day so that I can go to this place and experience what everybody's talking about, right? And they do sometimes, and they get, oh, I went and it wasn't all that. That's what a lot of people do. This is what women are doing for Are We Dating the Same Guy or the T app. I'm just kind of looking to see and true enough, there are some people that go in there and they actually have pure intentions. But these women are looking and saying, I don't have enough money to experience this yet. So I'm going to wait a little bit, or I'm going to try to step up my fashion game or my career game or my makeup game so that I can put myself in the same room as this guy. So Shira 7, lead me into, or give me some strategy behind what these guys are looking for. Some of you other dating coaches, how do I look feminine? How do I tap into that dark energy? They're going to trying to access tricks, manifestation, gimmicks in order to pull the guy. They don't have what it takes, and they don't want to put in the work to get what it takes. If I can pay $99 for a gimmick, then I'll learn it. If I just have to read a book, then I'll learn it. They bypass all of the studies, all of the books that will tell them this is what a man is looking for, especially the guy that you're looking for. Read this book, understand him, have a chance with him. I'm not gonna read that book. I'm gonna look for a book that says this is how you get in the vicinity. And then when you get in the vicinity, this is how you get the man to spend on you. This is how you get this type of man that every girl wants to be obsessed with you. That's the game. So I'm looking to see if I can exploit, if I have the tools, the skill set to exploit this and be with them. It's like football or basketball, right? You're studying your opponent, and from week to week, one opponent, one team might have the skill set to beat another team. You might look at somebody and say, now, how did the Eagles beat this team? But then this trash team beat the Eagles. It's all about matchups. And women might say, now, how did this girl looking like that? They think she's ugly. Now, how did this trash looking woman get with this good looking guy, right? How did this 1-16 team beat this 16-1 team? How do they do that, right? Instead of them just saying, well, it's because she was feminine, she was fit, and she was friendly. Not a lot of people looked at her. She was low on a lot of people's scale. Or as for women, not a lot of people gave her much of a chance. And she went in there, executed what she was good at. The guy was feeling it. He said, shoot, let's go on a date. And they've been dating ever since. Instead of doing that, y'all will say, it must be some sort of gimmick. Y'all will watch film. Y'all will hire different trainers and coaches and still go out there and lose the game because it's just about execution. That's all it's about. Instead of you saying, okay, well, I just got to be a nice person. I just got to go over there and say hello. I just got to give him the ability to come over and approach me. I got to be open to him. I can't have RBF. They'll say, it must be the dress. I got to get a new dress. It must be the hairstyle. I got to get a new hairstyle. It must be the shoes. I got to get the shoes. They won't really see you suck as a person. You don't have, your execution is, you think that you have so much talent that on paper, he's going to take you. But when you get on the field, you don't execute.
So on another note, hold on one second. On another note, why? Because if there's fluoride in the water and fluoride in the toothpaste and chemicals in our food, there comes a point where these things start stacking up. And I would much rather have kids with cavities than kids with neurological issues. You know what I mean?
That's a false choice. You're not choosing kids with neurologic disease or cavities. That's not really the two choices you're making when you're making that decision.
So then what's the choice?
So I guess my question to you is, when you say chemicals, like oxygen's a chemical, water's a chemical. So how do I am trying to really get down to the core of your argument to better understand you. I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha, I promise. Yeah. So like, how do you decide what a chemical is? Is dihydrogen monoxide a chemical in your book?
Can you give me like the short version?
Dihydrogen monoxide.
Is that
water?
Oxygen?
No, that's water.
Water. Oh, water.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could make
I'm not
anything.
a chemist, right?
You have to be a chemist. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not a chemist. Well, you're sitting up here talking about really, really, Skip, really, Skip. This this is what men mean when they talk about, dude, stop talking. Just go ahead talking. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not a chemist. Then why are you over here arguing about stuff you're talking about chemicals? You're talking about fluoride. Well, I would rather this and that and neurological, this. And the guy, it looks like the guy has his scrubs on. It looks like the guy is either going to work or coming from work. He's coming from work. And you're sitting up here arguing with him about something that he's studied. He studied that. He not only has he studied it, he actually does it. There's a lot of women that go get degrees and stuff that they don't even use. And you don't even remember it. Well, I studied it. You studied it, but you don't even use it in everyday practices. The thing about algebra and stuff, people still make jokes about it. Well, what am I gonna use algebra for? It's been 27 years and I still haven't used algebra for anything. They make jokes about it because I've never used it in practice. But he does this. This is something that he does. I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. Just be quiet.
But I'm not trying to trick you.
No,
The
that's
point
a
is to
compound.
show
That's
you
a compound.
what's a chemical.
There's a thing, but there's a difference between endogenous chemicals, things that I can make my body makes, right?
Right.
And exogenous chemicals that
But does
come
your
from
body make
external-
water?
Does my body make fluoride?
But does your body make water? You need water to live.
I need water to live. Okay, but my body is 72% water, which means that I am fully made of water.
You got to get the water from somewhere. If your body is not making the water, whenever you sweat, the water releases. Whenever you sweat, there's things that flow out of your body. You have to replace them. If your body was naturally producing them, it would take a while for them, or they would take some time for your body to reproduce it, or you would have to replenish it. That's why you have, even though it's not really all that great, Gatorade. You have different hydration methods, different companies on the market. That's why you have that, because your body is not replacing that. You got to put that in. It's an essential part of your life.
Water. Like I was
Like,
born.
we need essential
I was born
amino
with
acids.
Water.
They're
I was
called-
born with water.
you-
You know what I mean? I wasn't born with fluoride in my
Yeah, but the
system.
water came from your parent
My what? Yeah,
From
my
your
parent,
parent.
of course. But I
who
didn't
got
get
water
any,
from the environment.
That's fine, but like,
So there's
where did the
certain
first
things we need.
single-celled amoeba get the water from?
Listen, man, like I said, just stop talking. This is not for you. Like, just, men go through the same thing in dating. At some point in time, I know you probably know a few things. Look at the man in the background. Look at him in the background. He's laughing. He's laughing. Look at him in the background. He's laughing at her. Bro, stop talking. Stop talking. Be quiet. Deadpan. What are you talking about? This man, look at his face in the background. He's already got a smirk on his face. That's good. Look at his face in the background. Slammed already. You're embarrassing yourself. The title up there in the top left says surrender. You need to surrender right now. Oh, no, surrounded. Sorry. Well, you know what? I probably should go watch this whole thing. It'd be interesting to me. But so far, she's not winning this. And I guess for context, I think they're talking about, I'm looking at it, RFK Jr. should step down because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, man. You got to think about whichever side of the aisle you're on. You got to think about what's being said. And even if you still disagree, think about it before responding.
When a girl says, "You're the first guy to ever treat me right," you have a 90% chance of being dumped or cheated on or done dirty in general in 2 to 4 months. There are 3 common reasons for this, and they all really come down to one thing, so make sure you watch to the end where I explain that. My name is Dr. Lily. I help you heal from breakups and toxic relationships based off of neuroscience and psychology. Number 1 is that her self-worth is so low that she actually doesn't believe that she deserves you, so she will leave you because you're treating her too well. If she has this pattern of dating men who treat her poorly, that means her consciousness is at the level of men who will treat her badly. And when you treat her the best that she's ever been treated, it's uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar for her. Her nervous system and her subconscious is wired to be treated badly because that's all she has known. This is a reflection of her limited consciousness, not of you. She might be a beautiful woman, a baddie, you might say, but if she doesn't believe that she deserves to be treated well, she will always self-sabotage and go for something or someone who treats her far less than she deserves.
Basically, Pookie and Ray Ray. I enjoy being around Chad and Tyrone. Pookie and Ray Ray, the men that are going to make me a baby mama, leave me in the dust, go do their own thing, and I'm going to be sitting up here upset. And then years later, when I figure out that I shouldn't have done that, I'm going to try to run into the dating market and say that I now deserve a man that is the top of the top.
Number 2, she might actually like and enjoy the toxicity of being with a man who doesn't treat her well. She gets excited by the highs, the lows, the good, the bad. Part of her loves that this man is inconsistent and speaks down to her. The only reason that anybody stays in a toxic relationship is because some part of them gets something from it. So some part of her gets validated by not being fully chosen by a man. Now, men, this does not mean that you should be toxic. It does not mean to go against your nature, to treat women well, and to be consistent. It's simply a reflection of this woman and where she's at. And if you're looking for something serious and real and long-term, you can't trust a woman who is chasing toxicity, the highs and the lows.
But that's exactly what that means in this situation, isn't it? I'm looking for a man to dog me out. I don't want to say that because that might not be socially acceptable. But at least the sex is good. I really like that. Y'all will put yourself in a situation knowing that there's about to be an issue there. But the good sex or this dopamine hit is going to outweigh the bad. And I think I'm going to take a chance on that. I think I like that.
Because that kind of woman will never be satisfied. And as soon as you get comfortable, she's looking for the next exciting thing, which means that you need to be aligned to a woman who is not like that, who doesn't love the roller coasters and is looking for a man who shows up consistently and treats her well. And those women exist. The third reason that this might happen is that you might be treating her well, but if it's coming from insecurity, fear, or scarcity, that actually repels a high-value woman who is looking for a healthy partnership. Or if you're treating her right, but not attuning to her emotional needs, she's going to want to look elsewhere.
But if she says, you're the first guy to ever treat me right, she's not a high-value woman. Does that make sense? Am I listening to that right? Well, if you're not attuning to her needs, this, and this, I'm the first guy to treat her right. So I'm actually doing all of those things. You just shifted the goalpost. Oh, well, you're treating her right, but you're not attuning to her. I'm treating her right. I'm treating her right. Yeah, but you didn't. I'm treating her right. I am treating her right. Oh, but you didn't. I'm treating her right. Stop this nonsense.
This is an opportunity for you to see, am I leading from a grounded place because I truly desire this person? Or is it because I'm afraid I'm not going to get anything else? I see this person as higher or better than me and I need to chase them? Or are you too distracted or not in tune with your own emotional state that you can't show up for her? All of these cases are a sign of self-sabotage, which is driven by one's own subconscious beliefs. So if this woman believes that she is unworthy of love, or that love needs to be earned and needs to be chased after in order for it to be valuable, or in order for her to prove that she is valuable and worthy of love, then she will always go after men who will force her to chase them. And she will abandon a man who actually treats her right because that's not in line with her beliefs. And if somebody is treating her well, then that is unfamiliar to her subconscious. It isn't aligned with the stories that she's created, and she needs to go back to what is familiar because to her nervous system and to her subconscious, that is considered safety, even if it means poor treatment or self-abandonment on her end.
And that makes her somebody who has a low value mindset. That makes her somebody who does not know what she wants. Well, actually, she does know what she wants. These modern women make up stories left and right about, oh, it's okay to leave the good man. He's not giving you what you need. Trying to throw it back on him instead of taking accountability for you being a trash person. There's one of the women that I reacted to. She sat up there They think they sound smart. But what they're saying is actually stupid. Oh, well, you know, think about it like this. If there's a shoe that you want to look at and it's perfect from the outside, you see it from afar, it's the correct size and everything is perfect about it, but you get up close and you try it on and it doesn't fit, that's the way that he was. That's the way that this relationship was. Shut up. Shut up. This man was doing what he was supposed to be doing. You, like I said in that video, you would have known before you even got to that shoe. You'd have been looking at it for a while. You'd have been researching it. You'd have sent it to a whole bunch of people. You'd have asked for opinions. You'd have been there, already put your foot in the shoe. You'd have said, okay, this one don't fit me, but is there any size in the back that fits? You'd have tried to scrunch your foot in that shoe, and you would have worn it uncomfortably. Because it's a good shoe, it's a valuable shoe, and I'm going to shape, I'm going to mold, I'm going to put myself, whatever I got to do. I put my foot in Vaseline. I put little things on my ankles to where I can slide inside that shoe and it won't hurt. I'm going to get cushioned so I can wear that shoe comfortably, even though I know this shoe is too small or too big. But whatever it is, it's too good of a deal to pass up. I'm going to make sure I do whatever to wear this shoe. A good man was a good man from the start. You didn't know how to treat him. Accountability. You fumbled. Accountability.
And men, if you are over giving to a woman or doing nice things for her, but it's coming from this place of fear or like you have to prove yourself, that is also your limiting belief that you aren't worthy of love. And so you will then attract this woman and then repel her because that isn't safe to her. It's not coming from genuine intent. So there's always fine print with every action that she is going to have to owe you something, or that you are reliant on her approval for you to feel whole or like a man.
No, once again, we're trying to put it on the man. Oh, well, you wasn't a good person. You was doing it from a place of insecurity. You wasn't doing it with genuine intentions. I was. You're the first guy to ever treat me right. You're the first guy to ever treat me right. Well, you treated me right, but it wasn't good intentions behind it. What? Seriously? A dude in the comments says, if a great man is an average woman, then why does she need to be given grace in 1,000 different situations? Why does, if she's such an, if a great dude doing all he can is an average woman, then why do you need so many excuses if this is just a baseline? If this is just who you are? You are a trash person. Let's just call an ace and a spade a spade. Well, you ain't doing this. You ain't doing that. She's a trash person. Well, you ain't genuine about what you're doing. She's a trash person. Well, you insecure about, she's a trash person.
Which will only repel healthy women and will actually attract wounded women who do want to use you. So if you want to break out of this cycle and stop attracting women who don't want the love that you can give or use you, and finally attract the woman who will show up for you and will stay and inspires you to elevate your life in every way, you must start by looking at the stories and beliefs that you've created that has aligned and attracted these unhealthy women and repelled the healthy women that you want. The wife that you want to build a healthy, lasting relationship with, she's not going to be attracted and kept by dating tricks and tips to help you attract women. She gets attracted and stays for the man who is grounded in his masculine and knows how to lead from a healthy place. She stays because both of you believe and put in the intentional action to create a healthy and sustaining relationship. This is exactly the kind of work that I do with my clients. If you want coaching, the links are all on my page. Become the man that naturally attracts that dream woman.
Whatever you say, man, it always turns back to you're not masculine enough. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You ain't a good person. You're really insecure. That's really what all it usually turns back into. It's the man's fault that this is happening.
So I recently posted a video about a negative date experience I had, and I had some keyboard warriors in the comments talking about how I'm the problem and I need to communicate, and if I would have communicated, this wouldn't have happened. So I decided to give these keyboard warriors the attention that they don't deserve and self-reflect on this for a moment and think about if they had a point. I came to the conclusion, while it is important to communicate, huge advocate for communication, there are some things that just don't have to be communicated. This happened probably a month ago, and a little bit of a backstory. Jim Bro hates to see me coming, I'm gonna be honest. That is just like my physical type. I think it's because I like to work out, I'm pretty active, I've always been active, and so I'm naturally attracted to that body type, as bad as that sounds. So right off the bat, physical attraction is there. And then I also like that people that go to the gym frequently tend to have a lot of discipline, and that's attractive to me. So this guy requests to follow me on Instagram. I saw that we had a ton of mutuals, but I didn't recognize him from his tiny profile picture. So I did let him follow me because we had a bunch of mutuals, but I didn't request to follow him back because I didn't recognize his name and couldn't recognize him from the photo.
All right, so I really don't know who this is, but I think he looks good. You just give me a backstory. I see him, don't really know him. I see that he's attractive, but again, I don't know him. See somebody on Instagram, not really sure who that is, but we do have friends in common, so there might be something there just in the way of, oh, well, he knows so-and-so and so-and-so. They're good people, so maybe he's a good person.
But fast forward a few weeks, he liked a few of my Instagram stories and I kept noticing, so then I went back to his profile and I'm like, who is this guy? I was trying to zoom in on the profile picture, couldn't tell, so I requested to follow him to see if I knew the kid. Once he let me follow him, I realized that I recognized him from the gym. I've never really noticed him or spoken to him at the gym, but I recognized him as someone that goes to my gym. I see him at the gym maybe 2 or 3 days later, and I kind of gave him like a smile because we follow each other on Instagram. You clearly know me, and I now follow you on Instagram, so it doesn't have to be awkward.
And so I think here, now that you followed him back, he thinks that you like him, right? So he followed you. You really didn't know who he was in the beginning because we're mutuals. You must be cool, so I'll let you follow me. All right, cool, right? So now I come back. He starts giving you attention through stories. Who is this guy? I don't know who this guy is. Okay, let me follow him. That is showing him interest. Maybe he's reading that wrong, but that's showing him interest. You're interested in him, even if he's misreading it. So you start to follow him back. So there's got to be some interest. Once again, he might be wrong about that, but it seems like you guys he's making a soft introduction. We see each other in the gym. I don't even know if he's completely sure that you don't actually know him. Maybe he thinks that you guys are just kind of playing the far away game. We don't want to make it too awkward in the gym. So I'll just hit her up on Instagram. And I did hit her up on Instagram, actually. And then I made the first move by liking some of her stories, interacting and engaging. Now she engages with me back, and she actually wants to follow me.
You know? Apparently, I don't know if that was like the motivation that he needed to DM me or if that was even why he DM'd me, but that same day or maybe the next day, he DM'd me and essentially said, this is my official introduction. That is totally fine. I am totally all for that. It drives me insane when girls are like, oh, I want to meet someone naturally. I hate the apps. Yet they're not okay with being approached at the gym. They're not okay with being approached at work. It's like, you can't expect to meet someone naturally, but also freak out anytime someone approaches you. Unfortunately, you may just have to be in an uncomfortable situation if you want to get approached in the wild, but I rest my case.
Well, it's not weird. It's not weird. He followed you. He saw you. Oh, that's the lady from the gym. You weren't thinking about anything other than he has mutuals. So I'm going to allow, you didn't do any research basically. I'm going to allow you to follow me. And that's it. He starts liking your stuff. Hey, I want to get your attention. Okay, now you've got my attention. You turn and you go follow him. He wastes no time. He says, hey, I want to introduce myself. This is so-and-so. We go to the same gym. He's not messing around, right? So it's not really weird. Like, this has been going on for like a few weeks.
This guy DMs me. He was super nice, very friendly. Kind of right off the bat, he got my number. Again, that's totally fine. We're not in 8th grade. We don't need a DM on Instagram. I don't need a pen pal. So he DMs me, asks me for my number. I give it to him. And then he texts me. Conversation was fine over text. He seems like a nice, normal guy. He has a good job. I stalked him up on Facebook and all the things, and seems like he comes from a relatively normal family, from what I can tell based on social media, which probably isn't a lot, but whatever. We weren't chit-chatting on text very long. I'm not like huge on that. I don't like getting to know someone over text if I haven't actually met them in person. But within a few, maybe days, we hadn't been like exchanging texts that often. He had said, I'd like to meet you in person. And I was like, okay, I'm free X, Y, and Z. And then he said, okay, we can do this date. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Okay, so I'm establishing that I want to take you out and I'm looking for your feedback. What is it that you want to do? Do you have anything in mind? I need something from you. Don't take all day. You got to give it to me. Also, I need a little bit more conversation, to be honest with you. A lot of times, I know some of these women, they don't really like to talk a lot, and I don't think that you should talk a lot, right? You don't have to sit up here and be best friends. You can go out and get to know people, but I think, especially in today's day and age, you want to get to know the person before you take them out. You want to get to know a little bit about them. I think if you're dating this way, you're flying blind. It's a mystery to you. So you're not even 100% sure if you actually want to spend money on this person because you've never even really talked to them. You don't really even know them. You don't know a lot about them.
And he was also like, I'm not sure what the weather will be like, because at the time it had been like raining for 2 days, I'm pretty sure. And so I just said, not sure, but I can think on it, because we still had a few days at this point before we were planning on doing something. So then he comes back with, I could cook dinner for you. I was like, wait a second, pause. I haven't even met you in real life before, so that seems like a little bit much, but I didn't want to completely count the guy out, because I'm like, he just didn't know. He just didn't know what to do with the weather. He didn't know what I would like to do, because I hadn't given him any options yet. So I was just like, oh, I wouldn't want you to cook for me on the first time meeting you. I would feel bad. Like, no, you know?
No, I don't know. Tell me what you want. I could cook for you. I don't want you to cook for me. I would feel bad. It's different from, well, I was kind of thinking we could kind of meet up somewhere for, I don't know, coffee or tacos or something like that. Just, it don't have to be anything super extravagant, but, just so that we can meet each other like face to face, right? In kind of a neutral spot. That would be great communication.
Just kind of seeing what he would say, giving him the benefit of the doubt, but also like, no, not on the first time. He comes back with, okay, we can just chat and cuddle instead.
You don't think that was a joke? Really? Well, he don't know her, this, and this. Again. I see where you're coming from. But maybe the man feels listen, let's go back. You don't know what he's thinking. We're seeing each other at the gym. You're saying we're going to the same gym. But we're not really, you've seen him. What I'm not hearing, because you've noticed him at the gym, so you know him. You just didn't know him by his profile picture, but you knew who he was. You don't know his name, you don't know his backstory, but you know him. And for him to go, he's basically shooting his shot. For him to go in, try to add you on Instagram, you say, okay, yep, I'm open to that. Regardless of what you think it said, I'm open to that, yep. Go ahead and let him fall. Well, it's not that big of a deal. We're on social media. Y'all know how it goes. Don't act silly. Don't act crazy. Okay, I'm accepting him. He starts liking my photos or my stories. I turn and say, let me follow this guy to see what he's about. You already had his Instagram. You might have been able to find his LinkedIn or his Facebook or whatever, something about him. And with Google, you might have been able to take an image. Number one, number two, if you would have actually like looked, then you might have been able to come up to, well, I can't really even see him because his profile picture is so small. You could have taken, y'all know how to research. Y'all know how to research. That's what I'm saying. Don't do this. Y'all know how to research and find what you're looking for. Fact of the matter is, you think he's cute so far. You like the way that he looks and it's going great. All right. So he's thinking, oh, I might try to flirt a little bit. No. Maybe we ought to meet at a coffee shop. All right. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's probably why these people are saying you probably need to communicate a little bit better. But I get where you're coming from. Go ahead.
What? No, we can't. Like, I am just so baffled. First of all, I can respect the confidence. Like, that is a confident king right there. As someone who's confident myself, I'm like, I would never, but also go off, okay? But also, I'm not even asking for a dinner date, okay? What happened to, I don't even know what your voice sounds like. What if I have a deeper voice than you and you're not even kind?
But you don't know what he sounds like because you prefer not to talk on the phone a lot. He's texting you, I would assume, but you're not really responding all that well. You're not really being responsive to him. I'm waiting on. Okay, well let's go out on a date. Let's go out, and you're kind of leaving it there. You're kind of lollygagging, really, honestly and truly. That's what you're not saying, but that's what I'm hearing from you. I'm just, yeah, we can go out on a date, I guess. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let me think on it. Let me think about something. The man is actively and aggressively pursuing you, and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know. And when he says, hey, pay attention to me, that's why he started liking your story. Hey, pay attention to me. I got your attention. I'm looking to get your attention. That's what he's looking for. That, to me, once again, I get where you're coming from. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling this way. I'm not saying that he's right for doing what he did. I'm saying this man is trying to get your attention, but it seems like you're so nonchalant about everything right now.
And you're asking me to cuddle with you. What if I stink? Okay, what if I stink? You want to cuddle with me then? What is going on in society? And I'm not saying that men are just the problem. Like, I'm sure I have issues too, but that is something that I'm just like, we've lost the plot. We have lost the plot. We need to get back on track because somewhere along the way, I'm talking about it. Okay. Looking back on the conversation, I probably should have picked out a few red flags because I, in my head, never have been, never will be looking for like, who should I hook up with? I'm always thinking, okay, long term, would I be compatible with this person? Would I be interested in getting to know this person, not getting in this person's bed? So that's where my mind is always at. However, looking back on our text messages, he did say something along the lines of, oh, so you're smart, hot, and something else. And I was like, the hot should have maybe been a red flag that perhaps he's not in the market for a long-term relationship right now. And I should have kind of put a kibosh to it then. But at the time I just said like, oh, flattered, thanks. You know, because he also said like other nice things and it wasn't just all about the you're hot, bro. So maybe that's my bad and I should have read the room better. I can admit to that. However, still, something's got to change. And I don't know what that is, but something's got to change.
Yeah, he's pursuing her aggressively. I don't know if I agree with him saying the chat and the cuddle thing, but he's pursuing aggressively. I do hate this thing where women try to, or at least some of these ladies, try to paint themselves in the best light like that came out of nowhere. I would love to see the text messages to see how it actually went. DMs too, to see how the situation actually went. They won't say, well, I actually said something, or I was flirting a little bit, or maybe I said something that made him think a certain way. I feel like the guy has kept the exact same energy throughout this entire interaction. I might just be weird about it, to be honest with you. And maybe somebody says, well, what if that was your daughter? How would you think? Maybe I wouldn't want him saying that to her, but maybe I would want her to pay attention to the whole interaction. That's what I would want. A lot of these young ladies out here, they're just kind of going through the motion. Oh, he's cute, or this or that, or oh, it looks like this. And they're going off of surface level things, but they're not really dissecting and looking down and saying, oh, this guy is, he's a guy that I would like to get to know. And when a guy comes out and all of a sudden he says something that shocks you, well, it's there. I mean, you could have seen it. If you ask questions and start engaging, then maybe you wouldn't get to this point. That's all I'm saying. I want you to start paying attention instead of messing around and being, to me, so nonchalant.